I let them know, like, I have cameras. Don't try anything. Say hi. I'm watching you. We ran through his pockets. He choked me and like put me against the wall. Mixed it with water, and then this is the consistency. It's very like kind of like lubricant. The average rate.
Hello, how are you? Oh, you're so beautiful. Yes, oh my gosh, I love your place.
This is my tree house.
Thank you. Do you mind if I turn the camera on you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you.
I give hugs.
Yes, me too.
I love
Me
your
too.
jacket.
Thank you.
It's giving like a rock star.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're even more beautiful in person. I read that in the reviews. They were like, she's even more beautiful in person. But oh my gosh, you're tiny.
I am.
And so this is where you live too, right?
This is where I live. I'm actually going to be moving out December 31st. My lease is up. So I'm planning on moving to Philly. It's way cheaper.
Yes,
But,
I love Philly too.
Yeah.
Philly's cool.
I have two little boys here.
Oh, honeys, hi.
When the candles on, I wanted you to get a feel as, you know.
I love it. It's a vibe in here for sure. It's so comfortable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was so excited.
I'm so excited to
Yeah.
sit with you. Yeah.
So you did an interview with Softway Underbelly too, right?
Yes. I did an interview last December.
Doing these interviews, does that help your business too? Were your clients intrigued, or were they like, oh gosh, now she's like going public about it?
No, they loved it. New clients that would hit me up, I would always send them the link. Like, look, I'm real. So it does help.
So we're in Brooklyn right now. How long have you lived at this apartment for?
So I've lived here for 2 years.
And you work out of here, like you were saying. You do something called neuromassage, which is like an oil massage.
Mm-hmm. So I use like a gel. It's like a powder.
Uh-huh.
And then I mix it with water. And then this is the consistency. It's very like kind of like lubricant, very thick.
And does it just like make a
Jelly.
mess?
It does make a mess. And it's hard to wash off. I consider it like a girlfriend experience, just there's no intercourse. I am open-minded, but when it comes to new clients, I always recommend them to start off with a Nuru, kind of like an icebreaker. And then from there, you know, we can talk other stuff. I was on the train. As you can see, I'm very pale, so I bruise easily. I was a tomboy growing up. I had a lot of bruises on my legs. I was on the train with my mom, and I think I wanted to go somewhere. I wanted something, and she was like, no. And then I like spit on my mom, and she spanked me. This lady saw me crying, so she stopped the train. And I guess she assumed that I was getting abused at home because she saw my legs. They were like all bruised up, and it just so happened that there were cops at the train station, so they took away my mom, they locked her up, and then they sent me to like a group home.
But you don't think that you were abused?
I don't remember being abused as a kid. I don't think I was. If I was, maybe it was just something that my mind blocked out. I don't remember anything before then.
And how long were you in foster care for?
Wow, I was in foster care for like 8 years.
That's how long your mom was locked up for?
No, she wasn't locked up for those 8 years. My mom didn't have an education, so she doesn't know how to read and write. So it's really hard for her to like get a job. And my mom grew up in like crazy times back in the day. Like she grew up in Puerto Rico in the 60s. So I could only imagine what she went through, you know, and the trauma. So I don't hate her. You know, I don't blame her for anything. You know, it's life, you know.
Have you guys had conversations about it?
Yeah.
What's her viewpoint?
It's hard because, you know, my mom's like bipolar and like she doesn't take accountability, and I just want her to take accountability. Just be like, I fucked up and I'm sorry, you know.
Sometimes those words are all you need to hear in order for you just to move on. Mm-hmm. So you get out of foster care, and how old are you at that point?
I was 12.
And where did you go?
I moved at my mom's place. I was with her for 2 years. She was dating this older guy, and like my underwear started going missing, and like there was like weird shit going on, and I didn't feel comfortable. And so I told my high school counselor, I was like, hey, I want to go back to my foster mom. I don't feel comfortable here. And I went back into the system, and I was there until I was 18, got pregnant, went through the abortion, signed myself out. Went back to live with my mom, tried to like rekindle things. She called the cops on me. It was just a lot. And
wow.
I've been on my own for about like 5 years now.
At 18, having an abortion and then living by yourself, you really had to figure out a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I had my 9 to 5s. Like I wanted to become a chef. So I went to college for hospitality and tourism. That was like my major. I did a year in Kingsborough, and then, at that time I was in foster care. I didn't have a job, so I'm like, all right, I got to leave my studies. I got to focus on finances because my foster mother she wasn't making a lot of money off of me. They were only giving her like $500 a month.
Really?
Yeah, and she was only giving me half of that. So
are you close with her still, or?
Yes, she lives in Puerto Rico.
And does your mom know what you do now?
Yeah, I was working out of her home.
Having guys come over?
Yeah.
Did she ask you questions, or is this like a don't ask, don't tell?
She didn't really care as long as the bills were getting paid. So I was giving her money, so she wasn't complaining. I had a friend, she told me about Backpage, and I kind of knew a little bit about it, but I never went on the site and actually looked through it. One day I just went through it. I posted up an ad. It was free at the time, and my phone was going off the hook, and I was like, oh shit.
And what were you feeling? Were you like, wow, this is perfect, fast money, a lot of money, you can pick your prices, you're in control?
Yeah. See, at that time I was only doing massages, so I was charging $300 for the hour, and I would have lingerie on. If they wanted me to be naked, I would charge more. If they wanted other fetishes, I charge more.
And then when did it transition into full sex work?
So at that time I was dating my first love, so I was very respectful to not do full service. He knew exactly what I was doing. He was very accepting about it. And then we kind of separated when I was 23, and that's when I was all right, I'm doing full service.
This is interesting because I've done a lot of interviews with brothel workers, and I've done a lot of interviews with not brothel workers, sex workers outside of the brothel, and you do both.
I do both.
What do you prefer?
Personally, I prefer independent work. You keep all your money, you're your own boss. You don't have to wake up at 5-6 in the morning and go do a lineup. If you don't do a lineup, they charge you for that. The brothels have a lot of rules
Because it is a job at the end of the day, and they have their strict regiments.
Yeah, they call us independent contractors, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way because we have to give them more than 50%. If you think about it, we got to pay rent, we pay for our doctor fees out of pocket, which I do that independently either way, but it's just the cut is what kills me.
Are your prices the same independently as a brothel, or do you lower your prices independently?
Oh yeah, I lower my prices independently. I'm gonna be honest with you. At the ranches, the average rate, girls would charge $6,000 to $5,000 hourly. I can't charge that independently. People will look at me crazy.
I know at brothels are very strict about condom use and all that kind of stuff. Is independent will you always wear condoms?
Yes. Number one rule, ladies, please use protection. Don't do anything raw with any client. I don't even kiss my clients in the mouth.
Really?
No. I don't know where your mouth's been. You could have just saw a provider before seeing me. You could have ate her whole ass and just came to me. Even when they want to go down on me, I have dental dams because I still work at the ranch. So I can't catch something. I'm not going to be able to work there.
So you're doing independent sex work, and then when do you decide, oh, I want to go to a brothel where I have to pay 50% of everything I'm making now to do that?
The only reason why I go is just to show the government that I'm making
legitimate money.
Pretty much.
If you are one of those that have been wanting longer episodes and a way to support me and the channel, I started a Patreon. Thank you so much for your support.
I'm not one of those providers where it's okay, come in and out, bust and go. I sell an experience.
Yes, on your Instagram it says sensual dom. So you're a dominant.
I'm a dominant provider. I like to take control. But I'm not going to beat the shit out of you. Unless you pay me a lot of money for it, then yeah.
Does that happen?
I've gotten guys that pay me to pee on them. Most of them are Hasidic Jews because they're all over Bushwick. They pretty much run New York. I mean, all these buildings are, they own all these nice buildings.
Do they have the curls and stuff too?
Yes, they come in with the full on Jewish outfit, hat. They're super kinky. And all of them want to get peed on.
Why?
I don't know. They just all like to be degraded. I think in their society, they're looked as higher. So I guess they want to feel less than.
When they tell you that, do they feel embarrassed to admit it? Or they pee on me? Or are they
No. They're pee on me. That some of them will bring weed and smoke with me.
And you do hourly, or do you do 15 minutes, or what is?
No. I don't like a bunch of foot traffic coming in and out of my apartment. I live in a nice building, so the last thing I want is for anybody to go and tell the owner, hey, she's got a business running, there's a bunch of guys. So I do minimum hour sessions, and I do limit the amount of people I see per day. just for like my mental, and I don't want to be locked up in my house all day waiting around.
How many clients will you see in a day? Like, what will you max out at?
3.
Okay. So 3 hours of work a day at most. And every guy you're charging the same amount?
Yep.
And it's in like the hundreds, or is?
So yeah, my neuro I charge $600. After this interview, I might have to up the price, but
That's right.
but yeah, it's $600 hourly rate, and it's body to body. Mutual touching is allowed. I do keep my underwear on in the neuro session because it is very slippery, and I don't want anything
slipping.
Right.
Slipping in.
I don't want it to get slipping and dipping. So
Yeah. So $600, and that doesn't include sex.
no.
And then if they want sex,
If they want GFE, I do charge 16 on top of the 600.
GFE is girlfriend experience.
Yes, so it's intercourse.
So you said you have cameras in here for your safety. So that was if someone was to come in and hurt you or do something, you have proof of who it is. That's what it's for?
Yeah, but I feel like it's more so for show as well. Because I let them know, like, I have cameras. Don't try anything. Say hi. I'm watching you. Also I verify them, and I ask them for deposits. So when they send me Zelle, their legal name pops up. I have them send me a selfie with them holding their ID. If the client was in my position, I would assume they would do the same thing too. I'm allowing a stranger into my home. When I first started doing this shit, I was not asking for no deposit. I wasn't even verifying. That was crazy.
Did you find yourself ever in like a scary situation?
I had this one client that came in, and this was around the time I was only doing massages. And, I'm giving him the massage, and at that time I would ask for the payment afterwards. And I'm already, doing what I'm doing. And he's like, so we're doing full service, right? And I was like, no, we're not. We didn't agree on that over the phone. So let me get my fee for the massage, because he didn't want to give it to me. So I'm like, you're not leaving my house without paying me my fee. And so he tried to like push me off. I was like, if I'm gonna run through your pockets, because you're not about to waste my time. Thank God I had somebody there in the house with me, and I yelled out for her. Like, we ran through his pockets. He like choked me and like put me against the wall, and it was a whole thing. Like, we was fighting him. It was, yeah.
That's scary.
But that experience like opened up my eyes. Like, now I know, like, never again to let anybody into my home without verification and deposit.
It's like unfortunate to say that a lot of times you probably need those situations to make you realize, okay, I need to figure out a different way to do this, because this is not safe.
Like, I'm very thankful for that experience. It could have gone way worse. The guy could have had a gun, a knife, thank God it didn't, get to that point.
So you ended up getting the money and he left?
Oh, he didn't have any money. I went through his pockets. He didn't have not $1. So his whole motive was to get a free session.
That's like so shitty.
Yeah.
Like, this is your job.
I wish they were to legalize it like everywhere. If you think about it, most of the women that do sex work, minorities. I feel like if they were to legalize it, everybody would be up there in the pyramid. We would all be financially free. Just like in Vegas, we have to renew our like permit. They should do that in New York, where it's like you go to a sheriff's station, you go, you sign, you do your fingerprints and everything, and that's it. You call it a day, and then you work out of your apartment. You
have a girlfriend here right now, but I'm not getting on camera. But do you do two-person parties?
Yes.
You work together?
Yes. And she's trans. She's, yeah.
Oh.
So it's awesome, because it's like, get 2 different flavors.
I love that. My channel is about queer people, or just a queer community, and you were saying that you, what do you identify as?
She, her.
And do you date women, or do you only date men, or?
I don't mind. I mean, yeah, I don't mind. I just haven't found the right one yet, so.
You're just open. Are you just, would you?
I'm open. I don't judge. Me and her used to fuck around back in the day. I don't care, It's as long as you make me feel good, we make each other feel good, that's all that matters.
Right? You give me such like cool New Yorker energy. You're not like you're just like, yes, what it is. If I'm into you, I'm into you. If I'm not, I'm not.
Yeah.
This has been so interesting. I really appreciate you meeting up or inviting me into your place. It was so great. You're like a fascinating person, honestly. You have like a very soft strength about you that I really love.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.